All right, guys. Hey, welcome back to another episode. Two Guys, One Salad. We have an extra guy with us today. We're super excited that he's here. He is guest on our show today, and he is an entrepreneur by trade. He knew he wanted to be an entrepreneur ever since his early teens. He was born and raised in Detroit, Michigan. He was actually the middle child of seven. Yes, seven siblings. He graduated from the University of Michigan back in 2014, where he earned his a joint degree in business administration and screen arts and culture. Screen arts and culture, also known as film. After graduating from Michigan, he started a slew of different software and digital marketing companies, and he will be the first one to tell you that most of those have failed, and some of the failures were more painful than others, but finally gained some traction in the digital marketing and lead generation space about a year and a half after graduating, and just recently relaunched his blog/YouTube channel, The Upswing Report, and piggybacked his apparel brand off of this Upswing Apparel. He currently runs a few different digital marketing organizations, including a nonprofit, and is involved and invested in crypto and blockchain, and is working on the Upswing brand. So
decentralized gang.
That's right. So introducing for the first time on our podcast, Austin and Waldo. Austin, we're super happy to have you, man. We're stoked. You've got an awesome background, like literally just like the past 5 years itself. It sounds like it's just been crazy, like roller coaster, but definitely on the upswing.
Hey,
as of lately. Hey-o.
There it is.
So Austin, give us a little bit a more detailed rundown of what the Upswing Report /apparel is, to let our listeners know what you're up to.
Yeah, so thanks for the intro, Josh. Appreciate it, man. Basically, the breakdown of like my day-to-day operations, if you will, is, in one bucket we got the digital marketing, and then the other bucket is upswing related stuff. And in those buckets, there's different facets. Digital marketing, pretty much do lead generation. And if you don't know what that is, it's basically I'm connecting my clients with interested prospective buyers or people that might be interested in their services. And for Upswing, it's basically more so my pure passion project. It's kind of like what you guys are doing here, like getting the information out, helping inspire people to go after their greatness. So the way it looks for Upswing is, and the whole concept is, for people that are on the upswing in life, people going after their potential, what they want out of life, what their God-given purpose is, and that comes through the form of business, fashion, and lifestyle tips. Now that's Upswing Report. Upswing Report is the content side of the brand. And Upswing Apparel is basically the physical embodiment of that whole concept. And it's kind of like athleisure mixed with streetwear and has a little bit of, luxury vibes kind of sprinkled through that. So that is kind of the rundown. Some flair, yeah, man. So we're Salt Baying that right onto there, And yeah. So that's kind of the high level view, man.
That's awesome, man. That's it sounds super exciting, and I've actually listened in on a couple of the YouTube videos that you launched for Upswing Report, and dude, they're very well done in my opinion. Just like the quality of the video itself and the audio, like it's just very well done. It's captivating. I enjoy them. So if you guys have not yet taken a look at this YouTube channel, definitely check it out. Upswing Report, really well done channel.
Get a part of Upswing Nation.
That's right, dude. And so, obviously we want to keep this podcast centered around, health and wellness, nutrition, fitness. So we've just kind of created some questions for you, Austin, on, as far as being an entrepreneur goes, as a business owner, as someone that's on the daily grind, just some questions that revolve around, like, how are you taking care of yourself? Where do you find the time to do it? Because I see on the Instagram story all the time of you in the gym and whatnot. So, just kind of like
all the time,
basic,
baby.
Yeah. A basic,
ooh, a little arm flex.
Ooh.
And so basically just an easy, basic question right off the bat is, as an entrepreneur, how do you find time to take care of yourself?
Yeah, man. So one big part about Upswing Report, going back to that, is the lifestyle piece of it. So there's the business, the fashion, and lifestyle, and they all kind of like come together. But if you're not taking care of your temple and who you are, then you're basically gonna be screwing yourself. I was just talking to my friend about a book called 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey.
Steven, yeah.
Yeah, okay, so you're up on that.
Heard that one too, yeah.
Heck yeah. And the last habit on that is to sharpen the saw. And I think it was a president. I want to say George Washington, but I know it wasn't George Washington, the cherry tree thing. Yep. But I think it was like Thomas, maybe Abe Lincoln. It's one of those guys, one of the OGs of America.
The history buffs are like rolling their eyes right now, like these kids are a bunch of dummies.
Who are these idiots?
The main point is he said, whoever he was, if he had, I think it was 6 hours to chop down a tree, he'd spend the first 4 hours sharpening his axe. So it's so important because you kind of think like if you're on the grind, you think about like, oh man, I got to go get it, hustle, grind. That is very important to like put in the work, right? But if you're not taking care of home base first, then you're going to eventually burn yourself out, and just in your day-to-day stuff, you're going to be less effective on the actual end output as opposed to you taking care of your body in the first place. So I think all entrepreneurs are people that are, kind of self-motivated, and even if you do work for, you have a 9-to-5 job, and that's what you're called to do, you still need to take care of your body because you're going to be less effective in whatever you're doing if you don't. So I definitely try to keep that as a number one priority. And something I've learned too is like, if you put all your worth into your output and you don't really truly love yourself just as you are, that's something I'm trying to work on because I, not getting too deep into like the whole, psyche of Austin Waldo, but, growing up, I had 7 siblings, so I was one of 8. So being in the middle, I wanted to like, stand out and whatnot. So I put a lot of my worth into what I did and like kind of like standing out, like being exceptional at school, being exceptional, in my career and trying to like do that. And I realized, as I got older, wow, that's a lot of bullshit. Like I am valuable as a human being. And so if you can love yourself, you can say, you know what, we'll put this grind and hustle on the back burner because that's not where I find my worth. My worth is because I'm awesome, So I want to take care of myself. And, just as a, like I said, business owner, like that's super important to, especially since there's so much volatility in owning your own business and running your own business. You got to make sure, home base is taken care of.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the things that I've always learned with, entrepreneurship and, there's so much up and down with it. And so, a lot of the times, it's going to be smooth sailing and it's going to be easy to take care of yourself. But the times where, you're having a hard time making it through, like you're setting yourself up for success when those rough times come, when, the bad waves hit. It's like you're already primed and prepped and ready for action for when those things happen. You're prepared for it. So it's super important to really take care of yourself, especially when things are easy. Like don't neglect those times. So yeah, I definitely agree with what you said there. That's insightful stuff, especially for people that are, aspiring entrepreneurs and business owners, and even current business owners. It's so important to take care of yourself, your energy levels, the way that you're able to give back to your company is directly correlated on how you take care of yourself.
Right. And one more thing to add to that, if you are looking to start your own business, sometimes it's hard. Like, I don't know if you guys know who Greg Plitt is, but he's like one of my inspirations. He was a fitness model and just
rest in peace.
Yeah, rest in peace. He died in 2014. But one thing that he said is basically in the real world, there's so many variables, and it's hard to know that you're putting in the right amount of effort and the right amount of consistency, and you have like kind of the the right strategy. But in the gym, it's relatively simple. If you do have a good diet and you exercise and you put enough time, you're going to see results. And so for people like looking to start their own business, it's so hard to know, oh, am I really doing the right things day to day? But if you spend the time in the gym, you're kind of building your character to say like, I am working hard enough. I am being disciplined in the kitchen, and I am getting all these things figured out. So if somebody's like thinking, oh, I want to start my own business down the road, but they don't have an idea, and I made a YouTube video on this, and like I said, Upswing has a lot of kind of fitness related videos. It's not the main focus, but it's a part of it. And one of the videos talks about making sure if you don't have a business idea, go and work out, get fit, because that's going to teach you so many good lessons that you can apply to your business down the road.
Or even any just life lessons. Like I can't even tell you. I've been lifting for about 7 years, and I can't tell you how much I've learned just about myself and my abilities, and even what I'm capable of. So like that's got to be, I think, especially when it comes to having your own business, like that's got to be just another one of those things that just pushes you.
Yeah, man, that's so true. Like business, life, fitness, everything kind of interlinks. And at the end of the day, it's like, and that's the whole concept of the upswing. Like you can always be pushing for more, and that's in a sense a kind of depressing thing. It's like, dude, I can never be enough. But at the same time, you flip it around and you say, no, I can actually go after an infinite, version of myself. I have unlimited potential. So it's just a different way to look at it. But yeah, man, I mean, it's never done at the end of the day.
That's right. And what area do you find to be like the toughest, within the, taking care of yourself? What area is the toughest for you?
The toughest is, so I do intermittent fasting as well. So it's something, if you're not familiar with it, if you're listening, actually, Mitch, you want to talk about that? You're the expert here.
I was going to say, we made a video about it, so if you want to check out our video, you can. We'll put that in a link. But
I think it's episode 4 is intermittent fasting. So check that out if you're curious on it.
Nice.
Yeah.
So for me as an entrepreneur, sorry, go ahead, Mitch.
No, I was just going to say the basic idea was you just have a window of time where you fast and a window of time where you eat, and so that's just kind of the basics behind it. So what I guess what ratio are you following? Are you doing like 16 hours off and 8 hours on, or?
Yeah, it's kind of like a little looser than that, I guess. Like,
okay.
Pretty much I just usually don't eat until like 1 or 2 p.m., but I sometimes go to bed early or later, blah, blah, blah. Like, so with my business, my bread and butter business, which is not the upswing stuff currently, it's more digital marketing, I'm on my computer quite a bit. So if you notice right now, obviously, well, you guys would notice.
You have yellow shade glasses on?
Yeah, I got the
yellow
blue light blockers.
Yeah, blue light ones. Yep.
Yeah, so that helps. But long story short, to answer your question directly, Josh, the hardest thing for me is diet. So that's the hardest thing to stay consistent with. And going to intermittent fasting, sometimes I like actually push back my first meal. I'm one of those weird people that I don't love food. Like if I could literally just stick something in my arm and I got fed for the rest of my life and I didn't have to worry about it, I might do that.
You can, and it sucks.
Okay, I didn't know that was a possibility. So give me the details, man.
It's a thing. There's plenty of different things. I wouldn't say you want to do it in your arm, but there are some people who have to get tubes pretty much nasogastrically put into them, and so they pretty much are people who can't eat with their mouths or can't swallow, or there's some issue with their gastrointestinal tract that can't happen, where they literally eat out of a tube the entire day.
Yeah, so, I mean that doesn't sound appealing to me. Like, and I don't mind food
I know
per
you're
se.
Just playing, but I was like, I've like actually seen people with that, and they're like, it sucks, it's terrible.
Like for me, it's just like the whole prep, and I know there's like a lot of foodies out there, and like shopping for food, going out, blah blah blah. Like I just think it's like so much time, and I don't know. Like the way I see it is like I eat to live, I don't live to eat. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that's kind of the summary on that, but. Diet is the hardest thing, but one thing I found is really, really helpful for that is to focus on macros. And I know, Josh, you talk about a lot of that on your Instagram. I do macros, and I try to do meal prep too, at least for the bigger meals like rice and chicken and then some vegetables and stuff. And if I have engineered my week, to success, where I have all my 5 or 6 meals planned out, then it's so much easier to stay on track as opposed to oh shoot, it's Wednesday and I don't even know what I'm going to be eating next. And then it's just like easier to get, for me, like I said, I don't, or just not eating enough.
Yeah.
Like basically like I undereat if anything.
Right. And I mean, with intermittent fasting, you're taking at least one meal away from your nutrition plan. So it makes it easier probably for you to be in a calorie deficit. So you don't hang on to fat probably as easy, especially if you're doing food prep and you're doing really basic stuff like veggies, chicken, rice. Your calories are going to be probably pretty in check. Would be my guess. And you probably don't even have to count your macros at that point. You probably know your portion sizes by now.
Yeah.
So, or pretty close to it.
Yeah, it's like I did do the whole like counting my macros like very like not to like the rice grain, but like I was pretty intense with it for a while. And then, you know, you kind of get to understand the bigger picture. Sometimes you do need to go back to the basics and like readjust. But after prepping it out for, you know, a couple months, it's like, all right, I kind of know the portions.
Sure. What's kind of like your go-to meal as far as meal prep goes?
It would be chicken and rice.
Chicken and rice. Okay.
Yeah.
What about like your go-to eating out meal? If you're like if you're trying to stay like somewhat healthy.
I'm a pretty big fan of Chipotle, as they say, Chipotle. No,
Yeah,
Chipotle's a vibe.
Yeah, you can't go
Gotcha.
wrong with that.
Yeah.
I was just gonna ask. I have a question, kind of stemming off of that. So, do you have cheat meals, or do you have meals that you, or cheat foods, I guess, that you really enjoy, and how do you?
Yeah, I go out quite a bit, so like, you know, and especially now it's like stuff, you know, I was like basically a hermit when I was like trying to get my business stuff put together, and now since things are a little bit more stable, it's like, you know, just kind of celebrating life and getting my stuff done, but at the same time like enjoying the process and whatnot. So I'll go out sometimes, like, and then when you're out and you're drinking, then, you know, at the end of the night, it's like, oh shoot, like, you know, you're not really quite thinking like of in terms of like healthy food. So that kind of like happens. But, you know, at the end of the day, like if you do that a couple times a week and, you know, that's like whatever percentage, but the most percentage you have this stuff in check. That's why I love meal prepping. I feel like it's so good ROI for my time, because I can always go back to that. And like if I hit, you know, 65-70% of my time I'm meal prepped and, you know, have a good, the days are like more balanced macros, then, you know, I feel like it's pretty good. I do a lot of going back to the question of like what is my go-to, chicken and rice, but also smoothies. I'm a fan of smoothies for sure.
Easy on the go type meals.
Yeah,
Definitely a great way to get all your micros and good macros in too.
yeah. And a Chipotle hack too, by the way, anybody out there, just get the burrito bowl. You get the bowl, but then say, yo, could I get the tortilla on the side? And then they put more on the bowl, and then you get the tortilla on the side.
Hey, there you go.
I won't charge you for that one.
It's a good tip. Good little tip.
So I got another question for you, Austin. What, in your opinion, is an entrepreneur's favorite muscle group to hit in the gym?
What is it?
Chest day!
Entrepreneurs? Chest day, best day. Oh, no. On entrepreneurs?
Yeah, just in general. Like if you could only do like one muscle group for the rest of your life, what would you do?
Besides your brain.
Interesting question. So I would probably do like chest or arms, just because as a guy, like the whole like reverse triangle thing biologically is what females are most attracted to, you know?
Right.
So
Okay.
just kind of indicates the alpha male physique and whatnot.
Sure.
So I think I'd say skip leg day, as unpopular as it might be, but
Oh, you're
My
hurting
heart!
my soul.
my heart.
Man.
No, you can skip cardio though.
Skip cardio. Got it.
The heart.
Oh.
Even though your heart hurts right now, you can skip the cardio.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Got it.
Or
No,
just,
I honestly, like, I don't know, like I do like going to the gym real quick and just being like, yo, I got 20 minutes, like I'm gonna bang out like a stairmaster session real quick here, and it's
man.
just like quick, get the endorphins running, and boom, 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 you're in and out, like, you know, break a
Hey,
sweat.
research shows that works, man. So if anyone out there thinks that's not legitimate, or you don't have enough time to do a 20-minute workout, it's definitely doable. If you
You're
have time to watch
wrong.
Netflix, if you have time to watch Netflix or TV, you have time to go to the gym, or even just like do a 20-minute stair workout or anything like that. So I mean, if Austin's able to do this while running two businesses, two, maybe three. I don't actually know. He's got a ton.
And more than two,
But
bro.
if
There's
you
a
can do
nonprofit
this-
thrown in there too.
Nonprofit, yes. So
We
if
got-
you can
we
do
got
something
cl-
like this, any average person can go and do this.
That's very true.
Yeah.
And here's the tip of the day, Austin, for your workout regimen. So a lot of people think in order to build a bigger chest, a bigger frame, bigger shoulders, that they need to do more chest shoulder exercises. It's actually the opposite. You need to be doing more back exercises, more upper body pull exercises. The reason being is because your chest and shoulders, okay, they actually pull your shoulders down, and so you kind of get this crunched look. If you were to only work out chest, or like if you say you really wanted a strong chest or a big chest, you're gonna hit that maybe twice a week, right? And so all these muscles, they all pull inward towards your sternum, right? And so it kind of gives you like this rounded shoulder look. Well, you want the opposite. You want a tall chest. You want a broad chest, right? And so if you work out those back muscles do the exact same thing. They pull your chest muscles away from your sternum, and they give you this really broad looking chest. So for all of our listeners out there, if you want a bigger chest, if you want bigger shoulders, if you want the appearance of that, that V shape, that big chest, down into a smaller waist, hit more back exercises. Got to hit the pull-ups, got to hit the rows. It's going to be
Gotta
huge
hit the
for
deads,
you.
baby.
And the deads. Yeah. So backside mechanics.
Sumo
definitely
deadlifts.
important there. Sumo deadlifts too, man.
You can do all those deadlifts, man.
Yep.
Sumo, close.
I always switch it up. I don't get caught training the same stuff very often. I'm always mixing it up. Like if you ever take a look at my Instagram, I'm always doing something weird and out of control. But it's just because I personally I get bored. But variation is very key when it comes to your workouts. Your body is an adaptation machine, and if you get stuck doing the same thing, your body's just like, what else you got? So continue to change it up.
That's tough for me because sometimes I'll do the same workout and I know the last time I did X weights or X reps, and then it's like, oh shoot, if I knew it in my head, it's like the 4-minute mile. I don't know if you heard the story of the 4-minute mile, but the guy Robert Bannister who broke it, since then, they thought it was impossible for the longest time, and he broke it, and then since then I think 20,000 people, including high school students, have actually run the 4-minute mile. And so in my head, it's
like a mentality thing. Yeah,
for sure. So that's what, switching it up, like you're saying, Josh, for me is hard in that sense where it's I don't know if I'm doing, a certain bicep exercise, but I switch it up and do a different bicep exercise. It's hard for me to compare, apples to apples because it's really apples to oranges on those different exercises. And I don't know, it's that's the one thing that for me, it's hard to, I don't know, wrap my mind around, I guess.
So you're saying you get in kind of this routine because you're trying to maximize a certain lift?
Yeah, exactly. And it's if I switch that lift up, even the same muscle group, then it's well, how do I know if I'm going to my if I'm pushing it enough?
Your potential.
Right. Well, here's a good instance. Right, that's right. Here's a good instance for you. So, obviously you have different types of chest press, right? You have your incline, you have your decline, you have your flat bench. Each time that you change an angle like that, you're targeting different supporting muscle groups. So when you change it up, when you add different stimulus, your body's, I don't know how many muscles are in your body, but made up of an incredible amount. And so when you're changing those angles, you're strengthening different parts, you're strengthening support groups. So think about that when you go to change things up in your workouts, is that when you're working different angles, when you're trying different planes of motion, whether it's something that's in the lateral plane, it's going to build a stronger body as a whole, not just as a specific muscle group.
Right.
650.
650.
So many muscles are in your body. Yeah.
650. Thank you. So, and each of those muscles needs to be exercised correctly. Yeah, exactly. And so,
stretched too. I mean, just operated. They need to be moved.
Right. Exactly. And so, the biggest thing with changing up your workouts is just one, so that muscle group doesn't get stronger than all the rest. You have to consistently hit those, like I said, different planes, different angles, because if you're hitting the same thing week after week, chances are you're giving a supporting or one muscle group just too much attention.
Your body can actually will.
No, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
So,
a pretty cool thing Arnold Schwarzenegger preaches is if you want to have a bigger upper body, back and chest included, train them together. So he would do his pull downs or his pull ups, and then he'd do his bench press, and then he'd do another variation of back, and then he'd do another press, and he'd do another pull, another press. And I've tried a couple of those things, and you'd be pretty surprised at still how strong you are, even when you're supersetting some of these exercises, and I mean, holy cow! You've seen how big he is, or how big he was, but
Yeah.
I tried it and I've taken that for a ride, and it feels. I would try something like that too, mixing it up, like Josh said. You could try a push pull workout as well, something just kind of left field.
Yeah, and it really do just a lot of not really research, but like if you go on YouTube, you can find just so many different ways to change up your workouts. Especially like if you just look up programming like templates, super easy way just to mix things up. Whether it's working, like Mitch said, front side of the upper body, back side of the upper body in the same workout, or you can split it up. You can do upper body, lower body on the same day. Even there's a lot of programs that do that. So there's literally infinite amount of ways for you to change up your workout. But I would highly recommend adding one different stimulus in. So just the amount of reps that you're doing each time. Do like a 6-week cycle of your, maybe 10 reps at 3 sets apiece, but then change it up. Go for a strength cycle where you're only doing, 3 to 6 reps for,
yeah, 6. Perfect.
Right in that range for, 3 to 4 sets, whatever it might be. So the more you change it up, the more your body does not adapt to it. And in my opinion, the better your strength gains are going to be. And then also if you're working on physique, those strength gains turn into a better physique as well. So.
For sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I follow pretty closely to the. I don't know if you guys know about Kino Body and Grego Gallagher.
Oh yeah, we know him very well.
Run across his Instagram.
Sure.
But I follow his stuff, and like, so he has like the idea of like, okay, you track your stuff, and you can see like how much you've gained, over the the program or whatever. And when I started, I could barely do pull-ups, and like now I'm doing like weighted pull-ups, which.
That's sick.
I was like heavy. Like I was doing, I don't even know. Like I think I was like repping 5 with like 65 pounds, like on my weight belt. But now I kind of like fell off a little bit, getting back in the grind of things. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it's like when I first started. That's the cool thing about tracking your progress. But with that, I mean, it's kind of limited, but it's a quick workout. But with that, I'm just like, okay, like. I've found this to be helpful, and I'm just going to kind of stick to it. And then mixing in other workouts and whatnot, it's just something like I should probably work on, but I currently don't do that much. I just kind of stick to that program, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, also if you're finding things that work for you, stick with it as well. Not saying that there's one specific way that you need to train. There's so many different avenues, but my recommendation, just try some different things. If you're curious about something, try it. So
same with food, with your nutrition and stuff. I know you're saying like you kind of don't like food, but if you can, what helped me is I would get one recipe I would find that I would really want to try, and then I would kind of just I would take a little bit longer with my prep doing that and be like, I'm actually going to enjoy this food, but it's like also its macros are going to be good for me too. So like if you find yourself lacking or slacking there, mix up one of your recipes or something too, because it can help with changing up some of that
for sure
and keeping you focused and stuff. So
yeah. And I don't not like food. I just think it's like it's a hassle, and
yeah,
it's work.
It's definitely the entrepreneur
work, right?
The entrepreneur mindset of just like, I gotta eat, I gotta take time away from my business, and I definitely get that.
Yeah, but I don't know. I mean, it's like it's just something where I guess especially when you're growing your business, it's like kind of like you're like a fight or flight mentality of like, okay, sink or swim. And as things get like more like stable, I guess, because I've put all this time and effort in building the foundation, then other things can get a little bit more like, I don't know, like more balanced, I guess. But
absolutely,
that's just kind of like my big picture thoughts on all that.
Sweet, man. Well, we're hitting like the 30-minute mark already, which is crazy because this time is absolutely flown by, dude. So yeah, it's a good podcast when you get in a flow like this, and you can talk for half an hour straight and not even know about it. But as an ending, Austin, tell everyone where they can find you, where they can find Upswing, and all that good stuff.
Yeah, so Upswing Report is kind of the main hub of the whole Upswing brand at the moment. And if you just go to YouTube, you type in the Upswing Report, you'll find it. And for Upswing Apparel, which is, like I said, the physical embodiment of, I'm not currently wearing anything Upswing Apparel. I should be, right? But I guess because the picture's not there, so I don't need to. But
you can't see us.
You can't see us. So
we're naked, maybe. No, just kidding.
I just took my shirt off. I just took my shirt off, everybody. But the Upswing Apparel clothing line can be found on Instagram at Upswing Apparel, or you can just go to upswingapparel.com. And then if you want to follow my personal Instagram, it's Austin Waldo, AustinWaldo. And yeah.
You got to check out Austin's profile because he has Adonis hair, and it's incredible.
Yeah,
Adonis
and
hair.
if anyone
It's a
has any
vibe.
questions for him too, fire away as well. So
Yeah, he's
you wouldn't be too mad
he's
about
definitely
that.
here to help people, to impact people. So if you're a business owner, if you have questions on lead generation, marketing, whatever it might be, you can always
Or
reach out
just
to Austin.
work balance, all that
Yeah.
too, work
Yep.
and health balance, because he's got that on lock too.
Yeah, and
Fire
like
away.
just anybody out there that's trying to go after whatever they're trying to go after, that thing that's inside you. Like I said, beginning the podcast, like start with fitness, and it's a great way to, if you don't have a perfect idea of a business that you want to get involved with, you don't have the right team, or you don't have enough money saved up to kind of get that thing rolling, start out with the gym, and all these things carry over. It's really just like anything in life, fitness or business. It's so relatable. It's just starting with the basics, keeping things simple. Don't get overwhelmed with all that stuff. If you want to start at the gym, the first things first is go get a membership, and then celebrate that win. The next thing is just go to the gym. Just find something that you enjoy and just keep it super simple. Focus on consistency, because that's going to really make you win at the end of the day in life, in business, and in fitness. Like, don't get too lost in the sauce. That's
Lost
it.
in the sauce.
Lost in the sauce.
Don't get lost in the sauce.
Mitchell, anything else you want to say before we end this puppy?
No, I just want to say thank you for joining us. I really appreciate you sharing all of that wisdom with us. That was really touching.
Yes.
I learned quite a bit, so I had a pleasure.
Glad to
Austin,
be a
thank
part
you
of
so
this,
much,
you
man.
guys.
Yeah, we really appreciate it, man. All right, guys.
No
Hey,
problem.
thank you so much for listening to Two Guys One Salad today. Really appreciate it. Don't forget to don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Share it with your friends. The more people that we can help, the more impact we get to share together. So keep sharing this podcast. We really appreciate it, guys. And we will see you on the next episode of Two Guys One Salad. Peace out.
Thank you, guys.
Adios.
Oh, no.